Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Wednesday, August 9 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. The spate of blackouts, which has recently hit parts of Guyana, has also irked the minister with responsibility for the power company GPL. Minister Patterson has expressed disappointment at the calamitous state of the country's power generation. Rodin James reports.
Although the Guyana Power and Light is financially sound, having raked in $17 billion in revenue for this year so far, the country is still facing a series of power outages. Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson says the current state of power generation in Guyana gives him very little comfort.
It's very, very frustrating to me. Extremely frustrating. Very vexing to me, I must admit. But as I said, I met with the staff. They've explained to me the certain little issues that they would have, that manpower, equipment, and those things like that has been ordered and that are coming in not as quickly as they should.
The minister pointed out that the power company is troubled by both technical and non-technical issues. The bottom line is that power distribution is unsatisfactory. The minister vowed to use the time granted by the parliamentary recess to address the issues facing the company,
including visiting all the areas, all the power stations and those things like that, and hearing firsthand what's needed to be done, and seeing what interventions I can make along with the executive management and the board to ensure that by the end of within the next 6 weeks to 8 weeks, we back on a very, very safe and sound footing.
On the question of power generation, the minister noted that some maintenance works are ongoing, and this too might be responsible for power outages.
But we are aware that in coming towards the last quarter of the year, the power demands rise, Christmas and those other activities and those things like that. So we sought to ensure that we can do as much of the power generation and power maintenance of the generators now. One of the sets when we needed more work than was initially scheduled for, and that obviously reduced the impact of our overall supply.
In December last year, the coalition government ended a 2-decade-old arrangement with Wärtsilä, a Finnish corporation which had been building and managing power stations in Guyana since the 1990s. GPL insisted that it was saving substantially by ending the management contract. Wärtsilä was replaced by the state-owned power distribution company. Royden James, HGP Nightly News.
With the police 1 month after prisoners deemed armed and dangerous escaped from the Camp Street jail, the police have posted a $10 million reward for information which can lead to the arrest of the escapees. Anyone with information to cash in on the recapture of these escapees is asked to contact the police on the numbers you are currently viewing on your television screen or the nearest police station. The Guyana Power and Light is apologizing to the people of Guyana for the discomfort caused by the flurry of blackouts. Here again is Rodin James.
Calling the blackout situation unfortunate, Acting Chief Executive of the Guyana Power and Light, Mr. Renford Homer, said that the power company tries its very best to find solutions to the problems to avoid further frustration of its customers. He said GPL understands the discomfort poor generation causes to the people of Guyana.
We do apologize to the public. I think we have, over the last couple of months, been injecting significant efforts into reducing and to some extent attempting to eliminate, total shutdowns. We understand the inconvenience, and certainly it's not something that we're in the business of doing.
The issues surrounding the recent blackouts are nothing new, Mr. Homer explained. The company has started to correct them. But even as those works are ongoing, complaints of power outages in parts of Berbice and in Region 3 are mounting.
What happened at about 11:30 is that one of the generators at Kingston developed high exhaust temperature, and that activated the generation protection, which pretty much brought the machine offline, so we could call it a generator trip. Because there was not much reserve and we could not unload the feeders as quickly as we would have wanted to keep the system stable, it went into under frequency. And of course, that literally tripped the entire system.
Mr. Homer noted that the system has been restored. The power company, though, is not taking the blame for all the power outages experienced recently in central Georgetown.
That was a result of a tree trimming exercise that was taking place at the Atlantic Hotel Inc. on Battery Road. There was no communication, unfortunately, with GPL when this exercise was being conducted. So what happened in junior tree trimming exercise is that branches fell on a primary line, and of course that literally caused some significant movement along the corridor where there were two of our feeders coming out of Kingston.
The acting chief executive said that the company has been able to maintain a fair amount of the system since there has been no total shutdowns. Roy and James, HGP Nightly News.
In the courts, the man accused of decapitating his uncle in Better Hope on Sunday has been remanded to prison on the capital charge of murder, but the death of the Better Hope man has left the family divided. Javon Vickery was at the Sparandam court where the drama unfolded.
25-year-old Dwayne Tappin was remanded to prison on the capital charge of murder when he appeared before Magistrate Alicia George at the Sparandam Magistrates Court on Wednesday. It is alleged that on August 6 at Lot 125 South Better Hope, East Coast Demerara, he murdered his 51-year-old uncle, Randolph Senot. He will make his next court appearance on September 28. Outside the courthouse, an awkward clash of emotions ensued among relatives of the deceased and the accused.
I'm still telling the by play self-defense that you're not proud, that's what you do.
The aunt of the deceased told media operatives that since the death of her brother, the family has been divided. And while this is an uncomfortable position to be in, the woman said she now wants justice for her brother's death.
What kind of self-defense is that? You go in a house and you beat this man and you chop and take your head off clean and going out with your head and drop it by the door and you gonna say that there is defense? Come on, please. What heart you got? You got heart. You got no heart. That means we doesn't come from one mother and one father belly, because when you got children, you don't behave like that. That is your own brother, that is your blood brother.
The body and the head were reportedly found in separate parts of the house. It was reported that Senot was an alcoholic who imbibed full-time and worked part-time. Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Javon. A female witness took to the COI stand on Wednesday. The commission was stunned by the woman's apparent forgetfulness. Here is more. In forgetting pertinent details, Luana Diva Walker took to the witness stand on Wednesday as the Commission of Inquiry probing that alleged plot to assassinate the president continued. Walker is the woman who claimed that Gillard, the accuser, had told her that he was going to frame businessman Nizam Khan. But Diva Walker could not remember what date she had that conversation with Gillard.
Could you recall having a lengthy conversation like this one, more than one, with Andrew during the month of January?
I cannot recall.
Could you recall having a lengthy conversation like this one with Andrew during the month of February of this year?
As I said again, I cannot recall.
You can't recall.
She told the commission that wherever it is that she had had that conversation with Gillard, she had advised him to do something spiritual rather than tell a lie.
I even go so far and telling Andrew, let's go and walk a little over somewhere upon the man before you do something like that. Staying. Look, Andrew is there.
Diva told the commission that it was her lawyer who advised her to give police a statement on the matter. But when asked by Commissioner Slow who exactly is her lawyer, she just couldn't remember.
Who is the lawyer? Who is the lawyer you spoke with?
He's beyond South Road.
Mr. Chan, are you on South Road? No, sir. Okay, all right. Couldn't be you then.
No.
You don't know the name?
If somebody had sent me to him to do my
No,
paperwork.
you know the name of the lawyer.
When I get home, I could get the paper and I could. It wasn't like a lawyer that telling me I'd go directly to him. We was just in a conversation.
The commission noted that the woman could not remember at which police station her statement was taken. But it was policeman Laundrie who took that statement, and he told the commission that he couldn't remember why such an important statement was omitted from his evidence in chief. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. The police have expressed their elation at the attitude of proprietors of night spots who have largely been adhering to the 2 a.m. curfew. Commander of A Division Marlon Chapman said he hopes this behavior would continue. Jeff Von Vickery reports.
Commander of A Division Marlon Chapman said that since taking command of the police division, there has not only been adherence by night spot owners and promoters, but also cooperation in terms of maintaining the 2 a.m. curfew. Recently, the Ministry of Public Security charged a task force to deal specifically with the ongoing noise nuisance issues in residential areas and public transportation. But non-adherence to the law will not be tolerated by the police.
Zero tolerance. I don't go in for that. 2 o'clock is 2 o'clock. You have to shut off at 2, you shut off at 2. If you're given permission for a function up to midnight, that's it. I don't mix matters with that. If at any stage you go beyond that, then you'll be prosecuted.
The ministry said the task force will carry out regulatory decisions. The move was taken due to mounting complaints to the police about some bars and minibuses playing loud and in some cases explicit music, sometimes way beyond the stipulated curfew. However, since the time limit was enforced, Commander Chapman said there hasn't been any reported issues. He said bar owners and promoters have been cooperating.
But so far I haven't had any resistance. And none of my ranks complained to me that they would have had assistance. Whenever permission is given, a list is sent out as to who and up to what time. And if between that period there are reports that the music is beyond the level it ought to be, the ranks will first go and warn them to turn it down. And if we continue, then close off.
Commander Chapman is urging promoters, entertainers, and proprietors to cooperate with the police by continuing to uphold the 2 a.m. curfew period. Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
On HGP Nightly News, we tell you now that the first round in the fight for possession of Red House has been claimed by the Chedi Dragon Research Institute Incorporated. Chief Justice Madam Roxanne George on Wednesday upheld the submissions made on behalf of the Chedi Dragon Research Institute and granted to the institute 2 orders for which lawyers for Red House had applied. In essence, one order prevents and/or restrains the agents or any other officer of the government of Guyana or the state of Guyana from ejecting or evicting representatives of the Chedi Dragon Research Institute from Red House, or in any manner whatsoever interfering with their occupation and/or possession and/or peaceful and/or quiet enjoyment of Red House. The second court order essentially prevents agents of the state from removing anything whatsoever from the Red House premises. The University of Guyana is embarking on a journey to have its dentistry program accredited soon so that students will be eligible to practice wherever they may decide to. More from Kristen Macklingam.
The University of Guyana is moving to ensure that all programs in its Faculty of Health Sciences are accredited in a timely manner. The dentistry program is the next on the list. That's according to Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences, Dr. Emmanuel Cummings.
We are in the process of submitting an application to have the dental program accredited by CAMHB. Eventually, all the programs in health sciences will have to be accredited, and it's all in keeping with the single market and economy for free movement of healthcare professionals across the region.
He explained that the move to have all programs in the health sciences faculty accredited speedily is to ensure that graduates are not prevented or disadvantaged if they choose to work in another Caribbean country.
So if you want a doctor, a dentist, or a nurse, who's graduated from Caribbean University to become eligible to practice their profession in any one of the region, the program of itself must have certain minimum standards, and that's what accreditation is all about.
According to Dr. Cummings, while the idea is to have medical students at UG practice in their own country, there are other factors in play which may motivate them to work in other Caribbean countries. And in these instances, having the programs accredited at UG will not only serve the country better, but the region as well. Reporting for HGP Nightly News, I am Kristen Macklingam.
As September approaches, the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs begin to highlight Indigenous Heritage Month. Anna George reports.
It's the launch of
Indigenous Heritage Month 2017.
Guyana First Peoples, sustaining a rich cultural environment.
Indigenous Month will be packed with educational, cultural and fun activities which will commence on August 30th with an interfaith service and conclude with the annual Heritage Pageant on September 30th. Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Valerie Garrido-Lowe, says Indigenous Peoples Month comes with much anticipation from the indigenous population, who will continue to positively contribute to Ghana's economy and rich culture.
In Paramakatoy, government, with assistance from the Canadian High Commission, has invested $64 million in the sun-dried tomato project that will bring revenue, that will bring ease, that will bring comfort to the people of Paramakatoy and neighboring communities.
She says the government will continue to work with the indigenous peoples to see that their rights are observed.
In many countries, and in countries in our South American continent, many indigenous peoples still suffer injustices simply because they are the first peoples and they want to be recognized as such.
The minister pointed out that there are many indigenous peoples who are still advocating and fighting for their lives, lands, and justice.
In Guyana, we have 9 nations of indigenous peoples: the Arwaks, Caribs, Warraws, Akawayo, Arikunas, Patamonas, Wapishanas, Waiwais, and the Makushis. Governments past and present have been working with our indigenous peoples to ensure that lands are legally owned by villages and communities across Guyana.
Most of the events planned for the Indigenous Peoples Month will take place at the usual venue, the Sophia Exhibition Center.
From the Umanayana Kingston, reporting for HGP Nightly News, Ayana George.
Thank you, Ayana. Millions of dollars are being pumped into interior locations to help the indigenous people become self-sufficient. But one stumbling block to the development of indigenous communities is the marketing of their products. Here is Kristen Macklingam.
The entire month of September will be dedicated to honoring and highlighting the lifestyles and rich culture of the indigenous peoples in Guyana. However, more of their works and products need to be recognized locally and internationally to help them become self-sufficient. This is according to Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Valerie Garrido-Lowe, who spoke with Nightly News about the marketing and advertising of local indigenous products.
In terms of marketing, I know the government has helped them with funding in their communities to kickstart small businesses like you just mentioned. But will the government or the ministry itself be playing another role in having a little bit more marketing or advertising so that more of their products can come out?
Well, first of all, the ministry has a craft shop there that showcases craft from all the villages in the country. And we market it for them there. But that is not enough.
Minister Garrido-Lowe on the sideline of the media launch of Indigenous Peoples Month of activities on Wednesday. Minister Garrido-Lowe explained that her ministry, along with the rest of government, is aware that while monies are being allotted to indigenous communities to help residents develop skills and start businesses, they need much more help.
So what we are doing, we will be concentrating heavily in acquiring different markets, supporting groups, sometimes they go overseas and showcase their work and so on. So we're getting very serious.
According to Minister Garida Low, plans are afoot to help the Indigenous residents market their products both locally and internationally, with the hope that they can continue to showcase their skills and craft while earning an income to sustain their livelihoods.
Within the hinterland villages and have more respect for their work. So this is where marketing comes in as very important, and we have to look at it seriously. We are looking at it seriously. So yes, we will do more for people with regards to marketing their craft.
Reporting for HGP Nightly News, I am Kristen Macklingam.
A competitive outreach to youths involved in ICT called Code Sprint 2017 has been officially launched and will allow young minds the opportunity to develop specific programs on their own time during a certain time frame. Here again is Kristen Macklingam.
Local tech companies, software teams, and other digital freelancers are being given the opportunity at Code Sprint 2017 to showcase their best work, network with each other, and attract local and foreign clientele and investors. Organizer-in-Chief and facilitator Mr. Lance Hines, advisor to the Minister of Public Telecommunications, who was at the launching of Code Sprint 2017, gives more details.
All of this is going to be streamlined. It's going to be over all over social media and further afield. So I think while you're pitching before the judges, it's important to understand that you're also pitching to a wider audience. So who knows, somebody might see something that you like and call you the following morning and say, well, could we talk about partnering with you or buying your product or what have you?
Mr. Lance Hines. Mr. Hines explained that Code Sprint 2017 is one of the Ministry of Public Telecommunications competitive outreaches to youths involved in the information communication technology field, and that the competition has attracted many coders who stand to benefit from their participation.
The first prize winner, we will sit down with them as part of the second phase, and we will see what kind of support we can give to the product to be able to bring it to market, or see whether, for example, a local agency might be able to use it. So that is also part of it. One of the things that we do is that when we choose the products that you will compete for, it is to make sure that that product could be of some use somewhere in the sectors.
According to the facilitator, this platform will allow for the transcending of physical limitations and boundaries, where persons throughout the country can reap rewards for their labor.
They are, looks like, 14 teams who have signed up for this. The last time it was 8, so it's now 14. So we look forward to the point where we get to 20 and 25 and those types of things. So this is certainly a good sign in terms of the amount of participants that they hear.
Reporting for HGP Nightly News, I am Kristen Macklingam.
Thank you, Kristen. Your sportscast is ahead.
Good evening, I'm Colin Abrams with the HGP Sportscast. We tell you now, action in the third edition of the second Ground Entertainment Extra Beer Ballers in the Summer Street Knockout Football Tournament will continue this evening at the Port-Joy Tarmac, West Bank, Demerara. With a total of 6 matches slated for 19 hours are Tugville up against Albistown, Dave and Selena's All-Stars from Linden taking on Chateauville Gunners, and Champion Boys versus Tahoe's Admiral. Tiger Bay versus Comfort Ballers, Goal is Money versus ESPN, and Sparta Boss in the Night versus Lot 20. In results from Sunday night at the same venue, defending champions Jetty Gunners were outgunned by Gully Side on sudden death penalty kicks, which means a new champion will be crowned this year. The two sides battled to a 0-0 stalemate in regulation time. Gully Side held their nerves to outshoot Jetty Gunners 2-1 on sudden death penalty kicks. In other news, Showstoppers defeated Future Crane 2-0, Hustlers edged BV 1-0, Ben Street lost to Agricola 1-0. Sponsors of the tournament are Extra Beer, Extra Juice, Two Brothers Gas Station, West Vibe Sports Bar, Forrester Lumberyard, Wayne Tire Shop, Oswin Jones Auto Imports, and the National Sports Commission. In cricket, Ghana Under-19 boys captured their 4th consecutive regional Under-19 title yesterday, after a victory against Windward Islands in the final round in St. Kitts. Here's Calvin Chapman with the details.
Ghana defeated Windward Islands by an innings and 58 runs to complete their second outright victory in their Cricket West Indies regional 3-day competition yesterday at St. Paul's, St. Kitts. Left-arm orthodox spinner Ashmead Ned and wicketkeeper batsman Adrian Sukwa dominated the day's proceedings as Ghana took their overnight score of 206 for 4 to 309 for 9 declared before returning to dismiss their opponents for a paltry 97 runs. Ned captured 7 for 20 to spearhead the Guyanese bowling attack. He claimed 5 for 37 in the first innings to finish the match with figures of 12 for 57 in 32 overs to collect his first 10-wicket match haul in only his 4th regional under-19 match. Ned was supported by Kevin Sinclair, who snared 2 for 36 from 17 overs. Resuming on 206 for 4, Ghana lost their first wicket of the day with the score on 221 when Ronaldo Ali Mohammed was removed for 29. His overnight partner Ramnarayan Chatura followed shortly after for 22 with the score on 230. Thereafter, Sukwa formed valuable partnerships with the rest of the batsmen and they propelled the score past 300 margin before the declaration came. Sukwa smashed 68 from 55 deliveries, inclusive of 4 boundaries and 3 sixes.
Wade van Niekerk retained his 400 meters title in dominant fashion yesterday as he stormed to victory in 43.98 seconds. South African Van Niekerk, the Olympic and defending champion and world record holder, ran a controlled race and was even able to ease down over the final strides as he secured the first half of what he hopes will be a 400-200 meter double. Stephen Gardner, 21 of the Bahamas, was clear second in 44.41, and 20-year-old world junior champion Abdullah Haran of Qatar blasted through at the end and snatched bronze in 44.48 seconds. Fred Kirkley of the USA had scraped into the final as a fast loser, but finished last as the United States failed to medal in the event for only the second time since the championships began in 1983. Assistant coach for the Ghana Under-17 football team is optimistic that the team will perform well at the upcoming CONCACAF tournament.
She's played for more than 20 years in the game of football, and according to assistant coach Tricia Monroe, giving back to the game by way of coaching, the next generation of players has seen the improvement in many players. Coach Monroe explained that training camps help not only to develop the sport, but also mold the next generation of players, something that she was not exposed to when she started playing the game. But she's discovered a few setbacks since training began.
I should say fitness is a key factor. We need to improve on fitness and the technical aspect, along with team organization, getting the players to perform their various roles and knowing the knowledge of the game.
Ghana will compete in its first Under-17 tournament. While she is optimistic that the team will do their best, the knowledge and experience among players might be a factor.
Okay, we want to develop our games, improve on the standard of play, and it's not all about winning, it's about development. Most of these girls, as I said, is new to the game, so we're here to develop the sport and having the sports grow so we could go forward.
The local Under-17 female team, according to the assistant coach, will help to build morale and experience among players, in addition to enlightening them about their next level of competition in other clubs.
And that's all for sports this evening. Back to you, Travis.
Spate of blackouts, technical issues troubling GPL, power company apologizes. Nephew remanded for uncle's killing, family divided following incident. Walk Obia, don't tell a lie, COI hears, witness forgets pertinent details, and Indigenous Heritage Month 2017 launched. Those were our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.